So we've now got episode 3 of season 6 of Fear the Walking Dead. This episode is titled Alaska, and if you haven't seen this episode yet, do not watch this review because this review is going to contain full spoilers. You've been warned. So in this episode we are following Dwight and Al, but before I get into talking about what happens with them within this episode, we do get a small, I'd say about 5 minute clip at the very start of the episode with Morgan. We see now that actually Daniel has shaved his beard. Literally last week I was saying please, because Daniel says to him, oh, you need a haircut. Literally as he said that I was thinking please don't shave his beard, but now we see he has shaven his beard. He has shaved his beard and looks exactly like he did back in season 5, which was quite disappointing because I thought that big massive beard looked pretty awesome on Morgan, but he has now shaved his beard. And he's still living in that kind of dam with the woman. He brings back supplies who actually came from Virginia's group. She says, does he know? And of course Daniel knows he's found a place, but Daniel doesn't know where his place is, just to kind of keep them safe. We also see that Morgan has added his staff to the end of the axe to make the axe longer. So he's got part of the staff and he's got part of the axe. So it's like he's moving forward, but he's also keeping a part of who he was, which kind of does make sense in a way. I can't really imagine Morgan without his staff at this stage, because we've seen it for season 6, season 7, season 8, and then 4, 5, 6. We've seen it, 6 seasons now with Morgan and his staff. So I think it'd be pretty weird seeing Morgan without the staff. It'd be like seeing Daryl without the crossbow. So it kind of makes sense that they are keeping some part of the staff still alive with the Morgan character. But to talk about the Dwight and Al storyline, since they are working for Jenny, their job is to go around to all these communities that failed, record, see what happens, to make sure what happened there doesn't happen to Virginia's group. And it kind of makes sense what she's doing, but it's also quite sick what she's doing, getting people go around saying, okay, so if you look here, this is what happened there, let's not do that, instead of going in and helping them when they do. Of course Al and Dwight are both wearing a GoPro, so of course you gotta have Al doing her filming somehow. And I didn't think it was as bad as it was in previous seasons, because it isn't in your face. In previous season, Al, and I just realized Al's toy barn, but in previous seasons Al will be going to someone going, give me your story. She'd be at them and at them and at them about getting the story. But this one, it's more kind of, it's there but it's not in your face. I just think it worked a good bit better. Now wait to see, in 3 or 4 episodes time it's going to be annoying me again and I'll be giving out about it once more. But at the moment I don't mind Al's kind of filming the way she does. But Dwight and Al's relationship, I think it's pretty good. It's pretty genuine. It's not, I didn't feel like it was a forced friendship. I felt like they were actually good mates, and it was pretty cool to see Dwight once again. The scarring on his face looks probably the best it's ever looked. It looks really bad, looks really sore, but it looks really, really good. It could be because it was in the daytime and the camera, it just looked good, but for whatever reason I think it just looked great. And I love that the grayscale, I didn't even notice this in episode 1 or 2, but the grayscale they were using in season 5 is gone now. It's nice bright colours. Well, in this episode alone it was, so that could be one of the reasons why it did look a good bit better. But their kind of journey throughout this episode is to get to the top of this building so Al can meet up with the Isabel woman from episode 5 of last season. And I was thinking, okay, is Al actually going to go off into the Commonwealth, or are we going to see Isabel again? I really didn't know where that storyline was going. But as they're making their way up the building, they come across another small community, which when they first got introduced, I assumed it was just 2 people. And the community, I'd say, looked about 20-30 odd people. I thought it was a bit odd that this community was just living in some office building this far into the apocalypse. You think they'd have a better setup than just some office building, but they were all dying with the plague, which I thought was just quite a fun, well, not fun, but quite a unique way to show that just because they're into the apocalypse does not mean stuff is going to happen, or stuff like all the illnesses before are completely gone away. It kind of reminded me a bit of season 4 of The Walking Dead, when they were all in the prison and that flu was going around. I just thought the plague idea was pretty cool. Seeing all the rats around, it was quite horrible, but seeing all these people die, I thought it was just kind of something unique that kind of made this episode stand out just that bit more. But they had to crawl through the rats. Of course Dwight does get infected. I knew Dwight wasn't going to die. The big thing is he hadn't been reunited with Sherry, which we'll talk about later. But I knew he wasn't going to die as well. It's Dwight. Just me personally, I don't think they're going to kill Dwight, Morgan, or even Sherry now at this age. I don't think they're going to kill any of those 3 in Fear the Walking Dead. I think it'd be weird to kill a Fear the Walking Dead character in I think it'd be weird to kill the Walking Dead character in the Fear the Walking Dead spin-off. I think they'd have to go back to the Walking Dead. I just don't think killing them off in the spin-off would really make sense. I just think it'd be kind of an odd choice to do. That's why I imagine those three characters are safe. But so they're making their way through, and they kind of, Dwight's saying, okay, you know what, I'm going to stay back here, I'm going to get my antibiotics or whatever they had to get. Al, you go up to the roof, because Dwight finds out that if he goes up, he's probably going to get shot in the head. So Altea goes up, and then I thought it was kind of surprising, because I didn't expect her to do it. It kind of felt a bit odd, because she watches a video beforehand of Dwight saying goodbye and that he loves her, and then Altea decides, you know what, actually I'm going to stay here, and she tells Isabel to go off, this place is infected, don't come back here. And I thought that was quite odd that she did that. I thought it was completely out left field. It seemed like ever since episode 5, her journey and her mission was to find Isabel, but now she's deciding to stay with Dwight, which is just her mate. I thought it was a bit odd, but I guess I'm kind of happy, because I am a fan of the Altea character, so it's pretty cool to keep her around. But as they're making their way down, as everyone's getting the antibiotics, because she found them in this crate, everyone's getting healed. I can't imagine these people are actually going to make their way to Virginia's group. I think they're going to stay there, and eventually Morgan is going to come and take them, and they'll join his community, because they're not going to stay in there. It's not realistic for them to stay there as well. Morgan, he's going to need people to come as well, and they're not going to go Virginia's group, because who's going to want to go Virginia's group? I can't see Dwight or Altea saying, oh yeah, you should come join ours. But as they're doing that on the walkie-talkie, they hear someone saying, was that yours, Flair? And I didn't recognize the voice, but then all of a sudden Dwight panics. Of course it was Sherry's, and he runs down, and this scene I thought it was fantastic. I actually love this scene. I've seen some photos now on Instagram or Facebook or whatever it was, and people are comparing whose reuniting scene was better, Glenn and Maggie's back in season 4 or Dwight and Sherry. And in all fairness, I think Dwight and Sherry's reuniting scene works a lot better than Maggie and Glenn, because you always knew they were going to come back together. I always figured Dwight and Sherry were going to come back together. I just thought the music in this scene was just fantastic. Seeing the emotion of these two faces, the fact that they literally crossed the entire country and have found each other again, I just thought that was brilliant. I'm glad we got to see Sherry again, because we haven't seen Sherry since season 7 of The Walking Dead. I never thought we would see her again. I always thought she would be kind of one of those Heat characters who just disappears and never showed up again, so I'm quite glad we get to see Sherry again. I'm excited to see what's going to happen with her character. Is she going to join... Well, I can't see Dwight, because it literally says in the episode, if he found Sherry again, he would kind of just put his GoPro on a walker that looks enough like him, beat the walker's face in a bit, just to make it look looks like it's Dwight, but Dwight's been battered, and he get Al, but I have no idea what he's gonna do. I don't know if Dwight's gonna leave. I'd love to think that Dwight is gonna come across Morgan, and then Morgan is gonna take Sherry and Dwight in. But I honestly don't know what's gonna happen with Dwight and Sherry now, because I cannot see Dwight bringing Sherry back, and I don't think Dwight is just going to leave Altea there. I don't know how this whole thing is going to play out. I'm excited to see what's going to happen with both their characters, because as I said, I am a massive fan of the Dwight character, and I have Sherry. I've always been okay with, never loved the character of Sherry, but I'm glad to see the two of them are back together, because this has been his mission since she left, even before she left, since like middle of season 6. You've always known that he wanted Sherry and he wasn't able to get her, so now that they've reunited, I'm thrilled for the character of Dwight. I'm really excited for episode 4 as well. This episode is going to be following John. The trailer looks insane. John is one of those standout characters that has been introduced since post season 4, since Morgan has joined. Him and Al are the only really standout characters that I really like, and now this episode is going to be focusing on John. I think I've seen the rabbi, and I don't remember who else I've seen, but episode 4 looks absolutely fantastic. Cannot wait for episode 4. So if you want to hear my thoughts on episode 4 next week, that'll be dropping Monday, Tuesday. I'm not really sure exactly when that will drop. So much, everything's up in the air right now. I don't know when the episode is going to. It comes out Sunday. I should be hopefully Monday, Tuesday. I don't know, but if you want to hear my thoughts on the episode whenever that does drop, click that subscribe button. And as always, thanks for watching.